four categories are container, lover, intuitor, and creative force. And the intuitor and creative force I put together. Jess. So I'm just going to read it, and then I'm going to give you examples, because I do much better with writing. So the container, the breath worker and the session itself is a sacred, safe container, as I call it. It is a created space of safety where all parts of you are encouraged to emerge. This person, the breath worker, is really seeing you, seeing into your heart, mind, and soul. There's great focus and attention, a feeling like you are the center of the universe during this sacred time. The breath worker is creating a holding environment where everything that you are is allowed to unfold in complete non-judgmental awareness, as I call it. So that's my container definition of what Alice does for me. And lover may sound strange, but within this container, the breath worker brings an attitude and a heart that is filled with unconditional positive regard, acceptance, and love towards the client. And therapy also, there's lots of psychotherapies out there that bring unconditional positive regard towards the client, but breath work is different, and I'll tell you why. The aspect of love is what I believe separates breath work from psychotherapy. There's love shared and spoken between client and practitioner. The boundaries are much more fluid in a breathwork session than in a psychotherapy session. There can be touching, holding, embracing, and just simply expressing love and gratitude toward one another. The genuine love expressed in the breathwork relationship is what allows for my deep healing and growth. And I thought about love a lot since I've gotten on this spiritual path, and I remember people saying to me here at Inspiration, or the first time Alice said, "I love you" to me, and it just kind of took me aback because I didn't grow up saying that word whatsoever. And I thought about all our institutions in society, and wow, wouldn't it be amazing if we loved each other, or we were allowed to express love to each other, and what a difference that would make. And I thought about my first job out of college was working with emotionally disturbed children in a residential facility, and I thought about how we weren't even allowed to touch them. We could kind of side hug them. And these are kids that were severely emotionally, physically, sexually abused. And the word love was not something that could cross your lips as a counselor or as a therapist. You might feel it, but there was all these very tight, rigid boundaries. And why does it have to be that way? To me, that Alice loves me and that I can express it to her, and I can hear it back from her and receive it, has made all the difference in the world. And that's what I think separates breath work from many other modalities. So the third and fourth role of the breath worker, I call it intuitor and creative force. I see the breath worker as someone who has been trained in their craft. They are well versed in psychology, human development, philosophy, spirituality, and in their own life experiences. In addition, they are also well trained in what I call an intuitive art. They know themselves and the depth of their being, and in turn, they are able to really know and tap into the depth of the client's being. Through present moment awareness and an ability to deeply feel into this unfolding experience of the breathwork session, the breathworker is able to respond to the client in powerful, life-enhancing ways. There's an internal knowing of how to best meet the needs of the client at each moment. I love the creativity that is brought to a session. The breathworker experience is so different from traditional talk therapy. It is a time of experiential learning where there's an array of tools that can be called upon to further the client's growth. Some of these tools, other than the breath, include movement, sound, dream work, mirroring, direct confrontation, holding, embracing, and so much more. Whatever the moment calls for, these highly skilled and intuitive breath workers discover within themselves and within the relationship how to best facilitate the client's evolution. And I could give so many examples of Alice, but I don't know why I want to give this one example of Anne Francis, because it really stands out for me. in Kripalu, I had this big meltdown, and I was just like hyperventilating, and I was just really upset, and I couldn't even get my words out. And Aunt Frances sat with me, and I know she tried a couple different things with me, and nothing was working to calm me down. And I really haven't experienced hyperventilation like this for a long time. And then all of a sudden, she just started repeating my words back to me. And it was just a beautiful mirroring process, and it was very simple. And that's exactly what I needed. I just needed my words repeated back to me. Oh, and it was the only thing that calmed me down. And I just thought, like, how did she know to do that? Like, how did she know? Like, it's just like a deep sense I could tell within her that she found a key to help me. And I think that comes from lots of training and lots of life experience and how well they know themselves. And it's an amazing experience.
So that's our presentation. You can applaud now.